Yo, what's good folks, it's KnightmareFrame here with a new Warframe video, coming at you with the best Wukong build. I know I throw that word out around here and there, but I stand by it for this video. The build I show you may be subject to change in the future if and when they rework Wukong. But I'm rolling out with this build and I have been enjoying Wukong a lot more than usual. The epitome of immortality, he's got the juice. This build allows you to use his Defy and Iron Staff with no negatives. Back in the days before the melee changes, Wukong would only be built for his second ability. The build would rely on defensive mods, duration, and a couple of utility mods thrown into the mix. Then DE reworked all exalted weapons, so they can be modded separately. But unfortunately, his Iron Staff wouldn't scale very well. And now with Melee 2.9, 3.0, or whatever, not good with numbers, frames with melee exalted weapons are now the most versatile and almost near the deadliest of frames. In this build, I will mainly focus on his second and fourth ability, cause clearly the other two aren't really that good in endgame. His second ability, Defy, is Wukong's trademark ability. It's pretty much what he is known for. Oberon can replicate this ability to a certain extent with the help of his augment, Phoenix Renewal. So this ability allows Wukong to literally defy death. When he takes a fatal attack, he is healed up for a percentage of his health, and during that state, he is invulnerable. This invulnerability scales with duration. Each time he defies death, the percentage of health that he is restored with will begin to decrease. So I highly suggest to restart the ability after 2 defies. His fourth ability, Primal Fury, where he wields his Iron Staff. That's pretty much it. Since it's an exalted weapon, it can be modded separately. It is mainly a crit and impact weapon with a little bit of puncture. Impact is not the best damage type, but the weapon's DPS output can be scaled to insane levels of damage when modded right and paired with certain weapons. Alright, let's take a look at how I've modded my Wukong. The aura has gotta be Steel Charge. He is a melee Warframe, and it would be a crime not to run with this aura. Handspring in the Exilus, this mod is a godsend to all melee frames, giving me 160% faster knockdown recovery. As you can see, the only duration mod I have here is Narrow-Minded, and I would have high duration, but it's slightly reduced because of fleeting expertise. With the duration I have, I get 7.45 seconds of invulnerability, which is not bad. Fleeting expertise and streamline at rank 4 grants me 175% efficiency. That is the max efficiency to help with the energy drain from the second and fourth ability. Hunter Adrenaline is to replenish our energy when we take health damage, since Wukong doesn't have a large energy pool. The 2 Umbral mods to give me a nice chunk of HP and enough power strength for his Primal Fury. Adaptation is to reduce incoming damage slightly and give me some resistance towards certain status types, since we don't want our Defy to trigger every few seconds. Arcane Avenger gives us a slight nudge in critical chance when we take health damage, and we're going to be doing a lot of that. Arcane Strike for additional attack speed. You could run Arcane Fury for more damage if you want, but I do appreciate the attack speed. And if you want to get even high crit numbers going into red territory, oh yes, Gladiator Resolve is here to give us additional HP and granting us access to its set effect. With 6 Gladiator mods, we gain a 90% critical chance per combo multiplier. And since we can't fit any more Gladiator mods on Wukong, we have the option to use stat sticks. Basically, melee weapons that we won't use as melee weapons, but to enhance the damage output of our abilities. I'll start off with the first stat stick, and this is my Vacor Sidon. Even though it's a stat stick, it can murder things. So taking a look at the builds, you can see it's modded just like a regular melee build. But I'm using 2 Gladiator mods. Gladiator Rush for 6 seconds of combo duration, not the best in the world, and it's even lower than Drifting Contact, but we need it. And lastly, Gladiator Might for 60% crit damage. That is 30% lower than Organ Shatter. But these 2 plus Gladiator Resolve on Wukong, I would get 3 out of 6 in my set bonus. The last 3 Gladiator mods will be placed in the only melee sentinel weapon, the Deconstructor. And yes, duplicate mods also count towards the set bonus. As you all see here, it's not built for anything special, just an extra section to place our Gladiator melee mods, thus giving us a complete set effect. Now, I bet there's some of you thinking, why not just use an Adarza Kavat? Well, once the Adarza Kavat eventually dies, you'll lose the ability to get crit buffs. But when your Sentinel dies, you still remain with the set bonus effects since the mods are not on the Sentinel itself, but on its weapon. And if you want a decent build for your Helios, here you go. Very basic build, and for added DPS, I'm using the Detect Vulnerability Helios Augment. Think of it like having a pocket Banshee, but this augment only works if you've completed the Codex scan of the enemy. And now onto the Iron Staff modding. Prime Pressure Point for the damage, Prime Fever Strike, and Shocking Touch for the corrosive element combo, and of course the added damage. Sacrificial Steel for increased critical chance since Acolyte mods do not work on exalted weapons, so Blood Rush is a no-go. Berserker for attack speed, the best attack speed mod for a crit weapon. Drifting Contact for combo duration, and some status chance, as this exalted weapon also scales off combo multiplier. And finally, Condition Overload. This mod is what takes Iron Staff to the next level. The main DPS comes from this mod here. Without Condition Overload, this exalted weapon will be quite mediocre in terms of damage. Let me demonstrate the kill speed. And you can totally see the difference in damage. Every status type on the target will increase the melee damage by 60%. My Zakti dishes out a crap ton of status effects. And now moving on to the Zakti modding, built for corrosive and blast to strip enemy armor and to spread status effects, as it also comes with innate gas. The blast counts as 2 status effects, and when Zakti detonates, it staggers enemies, which would leave them open to finishers. And a stagger is also another status effect, so this weapon is essentially a beast in its department. My Riven grants me Toxin, Electricity, and Multi-Shot to boost its overall damage and projectile count. You're free to use any armor stripping and status spreading weapon, but I prefer my Zakti as it is optimal for this build. Woo! Alright folks, this is my Monkey Boy setup. It's juicy and deadly, the best endgame Wukong build. Do try it out and see what it does for you. That's been it from me folks. I do hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. For more, refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.